Let me ask you this simple question. Are you guys into German cars and into Sport? If so, meet the brand new Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Or is it Cross Sport? Yeah, it's Cross Sport. It's basically an Atlas that's missing the third row. And in this video, we're gonna go over all the features. We're gonna tell you what makes this car cool. We're gonna find out just how well it drives up here in beautiful British Columbia. And let's start by going under the hood. Under the hood, you get two engine choices. There's this 2.0 liter turbo, basically the standard Volkswagen turbo that puts out 235 horsepower. Or if you want to upgrade and you want to tow up to 5,000 pounds, you can get a 3.6 liter V6. Now both of these engines are paired to an 8-speed automatic, and they get between, let's say, 19 and 22 mpg combined, depending on how you configure it. You can also get all-wheel drive, but I gotta tell you, I'm happy with a 2-liter turbo, especially a Volkswagen 2-liter turbo. It's a big old heavy car, but at least here at sea level, this little 2-liter seems to do the job. Now at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, what's the difference between the Atlas and this Cross Sport? Well, the difference, of course, is that Volkswagen thinks that this is a lot sportier. As you know, the Atlas has been around a while. It's a big 3-row family hauler, and to turn it into more of a lifestyle vehicle, you know, more of a activity vehicle like this, Volkswagen has basically done something very straightforward. They got rid of the third row. Yep, no third row. And let me help you put this in perspective. This car now competes with vehicles like the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the new Ford Edge, and of course the Honda Pilot. So that should give you a clue that it's pretty big, and gosh, I'll tell you, it feels big, square, and roomy. I mean, there's just a ton of room in here. It's an enjoyable car to drive, and it's well set up so that it doesn't wallow. The brakes aren't grabby. The steering is accurate and precise, and you feel like you can actually flog this thing around these turns. Not that, you know, this is the ideal tool for that job, but if you had to do it, you could do it. All right, I don't have to count it off. I know exactly how big the wheelbase is. It's 117 inches, or the exact same wheelbase that you would get in an Atlas. Really, the big difference is right here. You'll notice this kind of swoopy coupe-like tail, which gives it that kind of sporty feel, makes it a little bit more, well, active and athletic versus that squared off crossover that you would normally get in the Atlas. What I like best about the Atlas and the sportier version of it is that it's a big vehicle. I mean, there's plenty of room for you, your family, your dogs, your llamas, I suppose, and perhaps that's best exemplified here in the back. Now, we did lose that third row, but that means that, look at this legroom that I have. And even though this is more of a coupe-like stance, I still have plenty of headroom. I don't feel like I'm getting too buddy-buddy with either my passenger if I'm driving it or my fellows in the back seat. Are you a big dog or a small dog person? It really doesn't matter, because even though the back of this car is cut off to give it that coupe-like appearance, there is tons of space back here because, well, when you remove a third row, it leaves just a boatload of space. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. Look at this, my skis with the seats folded down fit no problem. I mean, you lose a third row, but you gain the ability to have the biggest doghouse, if you so choose, for your pooch. And by the way, the back end to me looks a little bit reminiscent of another Volkswagen Group vehicle, the Urus, or is it Urus? Oh, I don't like this. Yep, fake, the exhaust actually come out the bottom. To help put this car in perspective, Volkswagen says that it competes with cars like the Ford Edge, the Honda Pilot, and believe it or not, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. So does that mean it's off-road worthy? Well, let's look inside. Yep, looking inside, you'll note that there are different drive modes that you can select, from snow to highway to, well, mountains and mountains with a star. And if you look up here, it tells you what those mean. Now, those are very off-road worthy images that they're throwing up there, but let's face it, a Jeep Grand Cherokee has things like good approach, good departure angles, good breakover angle, locking differentials, none of which are present in this car. So yeah, it's very good in the snow. I'm sure that this algorithm will appoint power to whatever wheel has traction, but if you're going to go boulder bashing in Moab, I would say do so at your own risk. Now, Shannon Falls is beautiful, but I kind of feel like you guys came here to see me review a Volkswagen, not a waterfall. So let's get behind the wheel of the V6 and see how that drives. Okay, I'm behind the wheel of the big boy 3.6 liter, which gives you, give or take, 50 horsepower more. And the MSRP on this car is exactly $10,000 more than the 2-liter turbo. So let's give it the beans and find out if you get $10,000 worth of more passing power. Yeah, no, that would be a definite no. So if you're looking for a lot more power, this probably isn't the one. But if you need to tow more, then yeah, go for the V6. But I gotta tell you, if it were my money, I'd go for that gem of an engine, the 2.0 turbo. Volkswagen has been doing that for as long as I've been around, I think, and man, they've really got that engine dialed in. Save yourself some money and get yourself a better engine in the process. Now, I love the room and I love the ergonomics in this vehicle. That means that they didn't go and reinvent the volume knob on the radio, they didn't reinvent the shift knob, but some of the plastics are nice and some of the plastics are not so nice. This 2-liter turbo starts at about $35,000. Our as tested unit is $42,000, and if you get all the bells and whistles, well, you can get up to about $48,000. If you go for the V6, then it starts at about $38,000 and gets up to $50,000. All right, to be fair, you get more than 2 more cylinders when you pay $51,000. This is the R-Line accessory package, which means I get things like the flat-bottomed R-Line steering wheel that is heated. I gotta tell you, that's worth about $1,000. I love the heated steering wheel. You also get the R-Line appearance package on the outside. You also get a little bit bigger wheel and tire package on the V6, so you're getting bigger rubber, bigger wheels, just a more aggressive stance. The one thing you're not getting, though, is like a Golf R, more horsepower beyond the 270 plus that you get in the regular 3.6 liter. As you can tell, I've got my little lane keep badge on, so let's see if this car actually keeps me in the lane while we go around this turn. So I would suggest that you don't do this at home, but I'm just going to let my hands off the wheel a little bit, hover over the wheel, let's see if it actually turns it when the road turns left. There you go, look at that. It did it. And it's not pogoing, it's keeping me in the lane. We're getting there. We're not there yet. It'll be a while before I trust the car more than I trust myself. And I think that's a way that a lot of you guys feel out there. I'd still like to have control over where the car goes versus the car controlling where I go. Both the Atlas and this Atlas Crosssport are built in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So if you like your German cars with a bit of an American heritage, this is the one for you. And it will be available starting very soon, as early as March. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Thank you, Volkswagen, for taking me to this beautiful, beautiful location to review a new VW. See you guys next time. Ciao.